Guys, it's your boy GTS, Gold Trader Sonny, and after a great week of trading gold in the forex markets, a lot of you have been reaching out. Can you give me some tips, some advice, some knowledge, share some wisdom, some analysis? So I've decided to come on YouTube and drop gems from being in the financial markets for 15 years. And I've been and done it all. I have traded stocks, I've invested in stocks, I've traded currencies, commodities, I also do options trading. So I'm going to be explaining things in a short and simple manner. I'm going to keep this very easy to understand because I want to keep you guys entertained, but at the same time, I want you guys to learn. And you know what they say, when you're learning and having fun, that's got to be the best combination. So with that being said, let's go to lesson number 1. And that is, price always pays. What does that even mean, price always pays? Like, do you know when I say this to people, they always ask me like, yeah, price pays, what do you mean, what am I buying? And in actual fact, it's very simple. It's more simple than it sounds. And what price always pays means you don't actually need to know every little single bit of information or connect every dot to do with the asset that you're looking at. Now, stocks are a bit different, but let's just focus on trading, particularly trading gold. Does it really matter if you are trading gold on a short time basis, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, that you know every piece of news? Of course, you want to know some key pieces of news, US CPI reports, US economic data, things like this, GDP figures, right? Why? Because it will affect the dollar and that will affect gold because we will be trading gold versus the dollar. But otherwise, trying to connect every piece of dot and trying to act on that data, you'll be chasing your tail. Why? Because the market will digest that data and information quicker than you can, and the price will change accordingly. So why try and do better what has already been done in real time? It won't work. So price always pays. Identify trends, identify points of support and resistance, identify most recent points of support and resistance, and these will be much better and a much better tool than trying to piece together every single bit of information and connect the dots. Trust me, it's not the greatest thing to do when you're day trading for gold. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, and let's go to the charts for this. Okay, so on the charts, tip number 2, what we're going to be looking at, people like to draw support and resistance lines, a million lines coming out. Now, that being said, you can see a few lines on my screen, but you can also see some text with the lines, right? So let's go on a higher time frame. Let's switch to 1 hour. So now we are on the 1 hour time frame. What are all these lines that I've got? So you will notice here I have got lines that say, well, this one here, so this support level was twice we closed that on a daily and 5 times we wicked that. The one below was 3 times we wicked that, and the one below that was a weekly support. Now, why are these important? Because when you zoom into this smaller time frame, let's go to 5 minutes. So when we're at 5 minute time frame, what you're going to see is a completely different chart pattern. You see that? Now looking at that, right, that does not give you an idea of the bigger picture. But why do we need to know an idea of the bigger picture? Because if you don't have this line here, you may be fooled into thinking that these drops can continue, but they didn't, because this was an area, a point of interest. That is why you must be drawing these things from places that actually matter. On top of that, the most recent days, support and resistance and point of interest will probably play a bigger factor than ones from days and weeks ago. Now, that's not including the main ones that we've talked about, but these are ones that happen within the range, right? So for here, what we're going to be looking at is, where is my mouse? There it is there. So let's get this out. And obviously you can see from the previous session, you see that. So this was from the New York session ending. Clearly the next day in the London and the Asian session, this is a point where it was support, but then it turned resistance, okay? So try and use points of support and resistance that have got some sort of value in a daily and weekly basis, a higher time frame. But then if you're going to use day or intraday ones, try and use the ones that happened yesterday or the day before, or even stretching back to the last week. That is going to help you more, okay? So don't draw a million lines. So that's tip number 2. And tip number 3, let's see how we're doing for time. We're on 5 minutes. Guys, I told you this would be short and sweet, right? This is what my promise is, to explain things short and sweet. In actual fact, have you heard the saying that if you truly understand something, you should be able to explain it to a 5-year-old? Now, I ain't saying you guys are 5-year-olds, right? But to really show or really prove that you've been in the markets for a while, you should be able to explain things crunched down in a simple and easy way. Something that's digestible. It doesn't bog your brain down too much, right? And that's the thing that inspires you. It plants a seed for then you to go away and start taking that knowledge and going, okay, this actually makes sense. I can apply it here. But if I start giving you or bombarding you with like 15, 20 minutes worth of stuff, you might not always get it. Now, don't get me wrong, in the future I might do some long form stuff for all you people out there who are interested, because that's how I learned. But for the now, let's keep it short and sweet. So, number 3, last tip, okay? What I'm going to show you here is a little technique I use, and it's got to be used at the right times, okay? So I don't want you to go away and just start applying this like it's the holy grail of indicators, okay? Now, first thing you want to do is identify the trend. And here's a phrase which I believe I coined, and it's called the trend is your friend, okay? So try and figure out what the trend is. You want to know the trend on a higher time frame, lower. So on a lower time frame, we are clearly in some sort of downtrend, but even if we switch to the 1 hour, you'll see we're in a downtrend. We're below the moving averages. So most likely the place of least resistance is down. So let's switch back to the 5-minute trend. 5-minute time frame, sorry. Boom and boom, 5 minutes. Let's go. So we've identified the point of interest, this line from yesterday's support in the New York session. We know we're in a downtrend. We're under 200-day moving average. Now, you would be mistaken to think that this is coiling up, right? Especially the fact that the 10-day or 20-day moving average, 20-period moving average is starting to cross over the 50, right? But you got to remember the trend is your friend. We are in a downtrend. And this is one thing which I really love, and it works on shorter time frames. Let's go down to 2 minute, right? Let's go down to 2 minute. What you will notice on the 2 minute, and taking everything that we factored in, downtrend on a higher time frame, lower time frame, under the moving averages on a higher time frame, right? What you will start to see is that even though this has been trending up, you see that trend line up, right? In actual fact, on the relative strength index, we've been trending down, meaning that price is going up, but the strength of the price is diverging. It's going the opposite way. And we took this trade. We put this trade in the signals group. And if we play this out, let's go. So in the 1 second, that's a bit slow, right? Let's just speed this up a little bit. Boom, there you go. Beautiful trade, right? And after this trade, let me show you tip number 2. So we just used the relative strength index, right? Up here on a smaller time frame. There's another way it actually works, and that is on big drops. Now, this doesn't always work, but what you can actually do, and we took this trade, is you can, watch this. Okay, look, so we had the first drop, right? We have the second drop. Do you notice we have divergence again in the relative strength index? And it's coming close to a major point as well, right? And what that's telling us is that buying power is stepping in, okay? Either the trades that were put on before, people have got their take profits there, or there's maybe orders already in to buy at that moment. So we put a second trade here. So we put a second trade because of this divergence. So let's just play this out a bit. And you'll see it here again. Okay, so we've dropped through this, but look at this. Look at that steep decline. And the price drop, the strength of the price drop is decreasing. Let's play this. Boom, that was a second trade we took, and we made profit from that one as well. So that is another tip or trick to do with the RSI. Now, it ain't always going to work. There is some nuance with it. You've got to really do some other analysis to make sure you use that indicator right. But having said that, It's something for you to go think about, for you to go ponder, for you to go test. And with that being said, I'll see you in my Telegram group. And if you're not there, why are you not there? Why do you not want to get trade setups like this? And if I don't see you in the Telegram group, I'll see you on YouTube next week for another 3 top tips from your boy, GTS Gold Trader Sonny. Let's go.